Hello, everyone. It's been a long time since the last farm showcase back in the middle of October, but we've gathered several features for you that have been really worth the wait. I'm Stu Ellis, the farm broadcaster for WCIA 3, and in the next 30 minutes, we'll tell you about Sullivan Auctioneers, who are selling farms and farm equipment from coast to coast. We've also got an update on agriculture research, specifically weed control for this time of year. And farmers who have challenges with soybean production issues will find answers from the Illinois Soybean Association and its Soy Envoy program. We'll conclude our show with a focus on urban kids who have found agriculture as the answer they've been seeking.
This is the WCIA 3 Farm Showcase with your host, Stu Ellis.
Selling your farm or even buying large farm equipment at a farm auction can cause folks to get a grip and hold on tight. But it doesn't have to be that way with Sullivan Auctioneers. They're farmers. Dan Sullivan says they've been doing it for more than 4 decades.
Obviously, a lot of changes over the years. It's always been a family business. Our name's on the side of the buildings and on the checks and the contracts, and we're just excited to have a family business that, nearly 42 years. It's the same family, same location.
John says the heart of their business is farm real estate.
We sell farm real estate and farm equipment, and that's what the bulk of our business is right now. And so, in the farmland part of it is a big part of our business, and we cover multiple states. We certainly over in the Champaign area, we have Kevin Haas as our rep over there, and Kevin does a tremendous job. But agriculture, land, farmland and farm machinery is really what the heart of our business is.
Sullivan Auctioneers conducts its auctions online to reach more bidders. And once you participate, Dan says you'll see the many benefits for both buyers and sellers.
We were one of the first companies to have live auctions in conjunction with internet bidding simultaneously at the same time. And now with the changes and being able to stay up with technology, we're doing the majority of our auctions that'll be online. It's putting the farmer that is thinking of retiring is putting his equipment in front of, without a doubt, more bidders than it ever has before. Everybody sits at the same table. Everybody has a fair shot at it. Sullivan Auctioneers and our third generation coming on are the only company that's offering free internet bidding, period. So, you have a sale starting at 10 o'clock in the morning. It used to be that a farmer, you would internet his tractor, you'd internet his planter, his field cultivator, combine, and on down the line, but you never interneted on proxy bid, scoop shovels or hammers or tools, pallet type items. So now everything is online. You know exactly when lot number 1's going to sell. You know when lot number 34 is going to sell. So again, it puts everybody at the same level playing field. We're putting it in front of 2 and 3 times as amount of bidders we ever had before. We grew up doing auctions. John and I went to auction school together. We were there just right out of high school. And that's always been our thing is Sullivan Auctioneers. Always had that face in front of the people. And Machine Repeat, we're premier sponsors of the Machine Repeat. And that's what we have done. But if you don't change with the times, you're not going to compete in today's world. And when we get in front of a farmer that's thinking of retiring or selling his farm, and we sit there and explain at no obligation how this works and how we can get them more money, they, without a doubt, sign before we leave the place.
John says selling out can be an excruciating experience, but not with Sullivan Auctioneers.
And we understand how, for those farmers out there and those sellers that don't have maybe that technology background, right? So we understand that there's a lot of uncertainty to those folks. We do this every day. I mean, multiple times a day we're dealing with the internet and bidding and technology. But a farmer, usually it's a once in a lifetime event to have an auction, right? So it's very emotional. They, in many cases, have invested their entire career in that one day and that one auction. So we take the time to walk them through it to make sure that they understand what the benefits of having an auction online and how we can reach more bidders and we can advertise it to a broader area, and the end result is that we're going to get them more money. That's the bottom line. we're working for the sellers. Whatever is good for them is good for us. We try to accommodate our buyers too to make sure that they feel comfortable, but we want everybody to feel comfortable, and we want to get the most money that we can for our sellers.
Their bidders come from far and wide because of the way the auctions are promoted.
And we're also the only auction company, and we're excited to announce this, that we're the only premier sponsors of Machine Repeat, the only auction company that's premier sponsor of Machine Repeat, and that puts a smile on our face. We've been dealing with Machine Repeat for years. We were the first ones to get on board with him, and so whatever we're marketing, whether it's land or farm machinery, it's kind of like, we talked about when somebody sells out and retires, whether it's land or machinery, they have a lot of their eggs that they've worked for 50, 60, 70 years all in one basket. And when we get ready to start the auction and start that event, you can rest assured that we put it in front of more people, I think, than anybody else will put it in front of through our multiple advertising venues that we use.
That's our story about Sullivan Auctioneers. Join in the next auction and see how they've set the new standard.
As farmers look to get another good crop going, one of the important factors is weed control. And behind us you can certainly see that there's some pre-emergent herbicide that's going on. With me is Marty Williams. Marty is with USDA's Agriculture Research Service, working closely with colleagues at the University of Illinois. And we want to talk about some of the research that he has. But Marty, I think a lot of people may not be really well aware that ARS researchers have been very prominent in U of I research for many years.
That's right, Stu. I think there's been a partnership between ARS and the U of I for at least 60 years. It might be getting closer to 70 years now. A lot of what we do helps other researchers, but we also try to make sure that it's relevant to the growers as well.
Now, that's something that we want to talk about today, and you had some research that I saw earlier this year that I thought was just fascinating, that a lot of people are going to be thinking about right now. And that is it's dealing with weather and activation of herbicides, and that's something that could happen. It may not happen. It's always kind of chancy.
That's right, Stu. And that's we've had everybody's fully aware of the kinds of weather variation that we have, and we're on a trend here into the future of seeing warmer temperatures, hotter summers, drier summers, changes in rainfall patterns as well. We're seeing more frequency of heavy rainfall events, and then periods, dry spells after that. So that's kind of the motivation for this research was, what are the implications with weather variability and how that's going to influence particularly our herbicides, especially pre-emergence herbicides. They need to have some BNA in the soil water solution to be taken up.
And so if we don't get enough rain, I assume that's a problem.
Right, yeah. And it's probably pretty common knowledge with most in the industry that you need some rainfall. The interest in this particular project was a better understanding of, how much rainfall and what kind of timing is needed, and how does that vary, to what extent does that vary with the weed species of interest that you're trying to control, or the particular products that are available.
So how much rainfall does it take to kill an average batch of weeds?
We asked this very question. I wonder, do we need to get out of the way here?
We're going to get sprayed on here, I think. We'll have take two momentarily.
Yeah.
Well, as we pick back up after having to move the camera to get out of the way of the sprayer, we were talking with Marty Williams about what the herbicides need as far as amount of water to get activated. And you came up with a couple of different substantial amounts of water to do a good job in activation.
Rather than just select a few different environments, we could actually look over hundreds of environments. We actually had about 45,000 observations to draw from to identify just how much water was needed to really have the best efficacy with different products.
And what did we come up with?
So the amount of so rainfall obviously is a major driver. One of the weather variables, a major driver, and it's what we saw kind of a consistent pattern across a lot of our products and weed species was that often there's needed about really to maximize efficacy was about a minimum of about 2 inches of rainfall within that first couple of weeks. Now, you know, we saw plenty of activity below that threshold, but then it was, you know, no longer. It could deteriorate quickly depending on the product. Temperature could also play an important role, and that often was involved at those really low rainfall scenarios. That's where temperature, and there wasn't a consistent pattern whether it was warmer or cooler. It varies very much with the product and the weed species.
We appreciate Marty Williams being with us. Marty's a USDA researcher at the University of Illinois.
We have time for your agribusiness in our next Farm Showcase program. Just give us a call or contact WCIA 3 to make arrangements.
Soybeans have certainly been a tremendous issue this spring because a lot of farmers have wanted to plant early, and some started, and then all of a sudden it became cold. The Illinois Soybean Association has a lot of interest in that, and so does Jason Carr. Jason, you are one of the CCA envoys for the Illinois Soybean Association, but tell me what a CCA envoy is and what he or she does.
Sure. The program was started in 2015, I believe, and it takes advantage of the knowledge of certified crop advisors in the state, CCAs, and it's a collaboration between the Soybean Association and the Illinois CCA program. And so they identify 6 CCAs each year that are able to provide advice to growers throughout the state. So the CCAs are actually kind of spread out around the state. There's 6 of them each year.
They're CCA accredited.
That's right.
But you work for different companies.
That's right.
Okay.
Each one of us works for a different company, different ag companies in the state, and some of them are even independent agronomists or have maybe a seed dealership. So it's CCAs from a variety of backgrounds.
Okay, and you're selected, and then you serve the Illinois Soybean Association for a year?
That's right, with the opportunity to serve sometimes for a second year.
Okay, and what do you do for them? Do you hold meetings? Do you conduct seminars? Do you do Zoom meetings, or what do you do?
Yes, all the above.
All right.
We contribute monthly articles to the IllSoy Advisor website.
Okay.
With actionable advice for growers. We also sometimes conduct webinars for the Illinois Soybean Association. And also we have a monthly meeting to talk about what's going on in our area and to kind of plan the kind of information we want to provide to growers.
Information to growers, and this, I'm assuming this varies depending upon when somebody would look at the website then.
Absolutely. So the idea is that the information that we provide on the website would be both timely and actionable. So it's, you know, if there's a situation going on in the state at that time, for instance, you know, you mentioned early planting. This year a lot of soybeans were planted early. At this time of year, there would be information, advice for growers on considerations when planting early, not only for strategies maybe for planting early, but also the kinds of things they might need to scout for in that situation.
You've opened up a whole new book of things right there. I should say web pages, probably. And just for example of what people might find, let's say scouting early. So I assume those curious little bean leaf beetles, they're probably hungry by now. They haven't been fed for a long time. That's something that's probably, the early beans are going to get hit pretty hard.
Yeah, that's right. And we found that out a few years ago. We planted some beans in early April, and they were up, I think, probably a week or two before anything else around was up. I think every bean leaf beetle within 200 miles found us. They did some serious damage, and that is the kind of topic that farmers can go to the website and they can search for articles. And there's now that the website has been in existence for 6 years maybe, there's quite a backlog of articles they can search for, and not only ones from this year but articles from the past also.
Whether it is bean leaf beetles or another challenge, the CCA Envoy program of the Illinois Soybean Association is every soybean farmer's resource for successful production. The CCA Soy Envoy program is a partnership between the Illinois Soybean Association and Illinois Certified Crop Advisors, providing local recommendations throughout the season to Illinois growers. CCA Soy Envoys contribute actionable information, advice, and in-season updates by way of the Illinois Soy Advisor blog to support Illinois soybean farmers in their goals of increasing yields and profits while minimizing environmental impact. In 3 short years, the Andreas Ag Academy in the Decatur Public High Schools has grown to nearly 400 students and is looking for a 4th full-time vocational ag teacher for the next school year. Zach Shields of the Decatur Schools Foundation points to the community support.
We've had some individuals in the community for years who have said we've got all these careers in agriculture that exist, and a lot of our students in the Decatur Public Schools aren't aware of that. But we've got some of the largest agribusinesses in the world here and some of the best soil in the world, and these students have no idea that you can go out and do something in agriculture that ties to the rest of the global economy, but also can provide a great living here at home. And we branded the program From Welding to Wall Street and everything in between. And we say, if you ate today or you're wearing clothes, you were affected by agriculture. And that's really our message to students. And of course, Mr. Buffett was very supportive in establishing the Academy. And then we've had a number of donors locally, like Irv and Linda Ahrens, who have stepped in and said, how can we contribute? How can we help?
I want to introduce you to Irv Ahrens. And Irv is a longtime businessman and contributor in the Decatur area, but Irv has contributed funds to the Andreas Ag Academy, and you bought him a couple of calves that have turned out to be pretty good calves.
They are good calves. I guess they've been showed, and one is really pretty good.
And got best in its class at the Illinois Beef Expo earlier this year. Well, Irv, why is this this overall program important to you?
I think it's important for me for basically to teach kids where their food comes from. Most kids go to the grocery store and they think the steak is in the steak aisle and that's it. But it has to come from someplace other than the grocery store, and this is a good start.
So somebody who was a farm boy up in the Melvin Sibley area now is an urban agriculture supporter here in Decatur, and we appreciate all the contributions that Irv Ahrens has made.
Thank you very much.
Leading the academic VOAG effort in the Andreas Ag Academy is Seth McMillan.
These are kids that a lot of them have never been in or on a farm, and you've got a tremendous interest with city kids in doing this. Why is that? How did you achieve that?
I think we approach it from the perspective of that everything they eat or consume comes from a farm, and we relate agriculture back to food and natural resources and science. So it's helping them understand that when they bite into a cheeseburger, there's been a lot of production agriculture that goes into that, and also we spend a lot of time, every unit that we go through, we talk about the career aspect and how there's a lot of careers in agriculture that are not directly related to production agriculture.
We want to introduce you to Jasmine Schnitzler, who is the president of the FFA chapter at Eisenhower High School, part of the Andreas Ag Academy. And Jasmine, you're not a farm girl. How did you become an FFA chapter president?
I got into this program in 8th grade kind of out of scholarship based, but as I have gone through my years here at the chapter, I have loved this program so much. It's become a very big part of my life.
And what is this going to lead to as far as your career and the future?
I'm actually planning on going to college to be an ag teacher.
An ag teacher?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. A city girl wanting to be an ag teacher. You would be great for an urban ag program. Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, because this is something that has helped me so much that I want to spread that to other kids.
How do you get city kids involved with agriculture? The Andreas Ag Academy has done that by connecting food with agriculture and showing them about the availability of exciting jobs. That concludes our farm showcase for now. We'll be back in the last weekends of June, July, and August with more. Our thanks go out to Sullivan Auctioneers, the Illinois Soybean Association, the Andreas Ag Academy, and Marty Williams of USDA for being with us for this program. Let us know if you'd like to be in the next Farm Showcase. Thanks for watching. I'm Stu Ellis.
Check out Stu's other farm reports at WCIA.com/farm-showcase.